Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Duckworth. I am the Assistant Director for Ecumenical and Interfaith Ministries at the Office of Campus Ministry here at Loyola University, Maryland. Today, it is my pleasure to welcome you all to the Alumni Memoerial Chapel for a musical rendition of a profound encounter between two Nobel laureates, Albert Einstein, a German-born physicist, and Rabindranath Tagore, a Bengali humanist from India. I first heard of this encounter through Dr. Sudeshna Basu and have since been fascinated by it. During their meeting that took place in the 1930s, in the middle of the two world wars, Einstein and Tagore engaged in a deep discussion about science, philosophy, and the nature of reality. Their conversation holds lessons for all of us on staying focused on the sublime and important amidst chaos and anarchy. I now introduce lovely people you see here on the stage. Dr. Sudeshna Basu is a mathematician and a musician. She has been at Loyola since 2022. She is an impaneled artist of the Indian Council for Cultural Relations. She has performed in the USA, Canada, Germany, UK, Bangladesh, and India. She has recorded more than 10 CDs and has done many projects on Rabindranath Tagore. Debu Nayak is a well-known tabla player in the Washington, D.C. metro area. He has performed extensively all over the world. A computer engineer by profession, Debu considers music as his ultimate passion. Burch is an international trade analyst and recent graduate of American University of International Service. At AU, Nicholas has worked with the Ibn Khaldun Chair of Islamic Studies, Ambassador Akbar in promoting interfaith dialogue. He's deeply involved with Gandhi Memorial Center and has helped produce various programs on South Asian cultural heritage. Dr. Duckworth has been a member of the Math and Statistics Department at Loyola since 2004. He started participating in Loyola's Heart of Zen meditation group around 2009. Ethan has many years of experience in leading chants that are integral to the Zen practice and keeping time on a wooden percussion instrument. Thank you all for sharing your talents with us. I would now like to invite Dr. Suzanne Keilson, Chair of Engineering at Loyola, to say a few words.
Thank you. I will go to the microphone, but I wanted to start off by asking a few questions, saying a few things. I have some of my students here, and you might think, what is the connection between science and religion? People often ask that, and yet we see how many people who have been deeply trained in the sciences also search for something else. And in fact, that search may be what motivates the scientific mathematical exploration to start with. So here's my question. Think of the number pi. Think of the number e. Think of what people have called the most beautiful equation, e to the j omega, and I see a couple of smiles about that. So e, irrational, j, imaginary numbers, a complex plane. E to the j omega is related to eternal harmonics, cosines and sines, eternal harmonics. So my question for you is, did we invent that? Or did it exist outside of us? And Anybody want to give a quick sense?
We discovered it. Like, it was always there.
It was always there. In fact, and I don't know that that's the answer or not. Was there, yeah?
We also put it to our own words, in a sense. Like, it's not like it was always called that, you know?
Very interesting. Very interesting. It may be there external, and we may be putting it into our own words. And I will say, not my faith tradition, but in sharing with a Jesuit, he once suggested to me that these questions are the best proof for the existence of God. So, what do Tagore and Einstein talk about? I looked, tried to study, scratch my head on their conversations. But roughly speaking, it seems to me that they were concerned with the following. There is the individual mind, but there is a collective as well. And there may or may not be a third universal understanding. And Tagore said what you just said, that basically all of this is the human construct as we asymptotically try to reach an understanding. Einstein said, but there is a reality, there is a science, there is a truth that is fixed and external to us, separate from our consciousness. And they even make reference to the famous question you all may know from philosophy class: if a tree falls in the forest and no one is there to hear it, does it make a sound? Is it a true external event, regardless of the observer? So the interesting thing is that modern physics, which Einstein never was happy with, kind of wavers on this very point, right? That the observer, and then perhaps that universal mind, is constructing a lot of our reality. These things aren't invented or discovered, they're kind of something in between. So hopefully, as a set point to allow us to get to the rest of the program, I just want to read to you. I wrote a little comment here, and I remember thinking about this many years ago. We perceive the table, a table, as solid, but is it? It is not. We know there is space between the atoms. Our hands don't go through it because there are electromagnetic forces binding the atoms together. But being a fan of science fiction, if our consciousness comes into harmony with those eternal vibrations of that seemingly solid bench you're sitting on, maybe, just maybe, we go through it and into other worlds and ways of knowing. So, thank you, and
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Suzanne, for a brilliant. Hi everyone, it's so good to see you all here. Natural and Applied Sciences, and Simon Debu, the Assistant Director of the Ecumenical and the Interfaith Services here at Loyola, who inspired me to offer something which is dear to my heart. And as Suzanne told us, I think also that spirituality and science both enrich our lives. We cannot, in my opinion, deny any one of that. So, this program on Tagore and Einstein, you get to hear from Nicholas, who's going to narrate some of the conversations they had. But the starting point for me was I was reading a biography of Albert Einstein written by Walter Isaacson. And that book had one whole chapter devoted to Einstein's God. As we all know, that Einstein was a very spiritual person. And when I was going through this chapter, every moment I was reminded of different songs or poetry that Debu had written. So my idea was to connect Einstein's thought with Tagore's thought, because it was so much overlapping. So that's how I started this project. And so without further ado, we'll move on to the offering that we have today, music and narration. And I'm very grateful again to all these brilliant people who are sitting with me here, making this offering possible. So, we'll start with the translation.
The primeval force and the primeval light shine across the sky. The sun and the moon and the stars glide through, sending ripples across the universe. The voice of the primeval poet resonates with the universe.
So this is a song written by Tagore. Nicholas read the translation, and now I offer you the music.
Tagore and Albert Einstein. One a poet, the other a scientist. Both were equally amazed at the splendors of the universe. Einstein, who devoted his entire life to unraveling the mysteries of the universe, always felt the presence of a superior power behind the creation, which spread beyond the limited knowledge of the human mind and consciousness. The same feeling echoes through Rabindranath Tagore's writing time and time again. He expressed his amazement and wonder through his innumerable songs, poems, and other writings. Today, we offer a bouquet of thoughts and reflections of these two great minds expressed through their writings and music. Einstein once said, "The most beautiful emotion we can experience is the mysterious. It is the fundamental emotion that stands at the cradle of all true art and science." He to whom this emotion is a stranger, who can no longer wonder and stand wrapped in awe, is as good as dead, a snuffed out candle. To sense that behind anything that can be experienced, there is something that our mind cannot grasp, whose beauty and sublimity reaches us indirectly. Now we see our poet, Tagore, capturing the same emotion in the translation that follows. Amidst the vast, unending universe, I travel with wonderment and awe. You are there in the midst of infinite mystery, alone in your glory. In this infinite time and space, you are there, and I look upon you. All the tumult has come to an end. Absolute peace pervades the earth. You are there alone, and I with you stand fearless.
Just give us a second, we need to adjust the instrument.
Rabindranath Tagore and Albert Einstein met for the first time in 1926. After which, Einstein wrote to Tagore, "Honored Master, if there is anything in Germany that you like, and which can be done by me, I beg you to command me at any time. I must further tell you how happy I am to have made your personal acquaintance, after having already for a long time counted myself one of your fortunate admirers. I wish you and yours a peaceful life and work. Yours, Albert Einstein." Einstein once observed, "I am satisfied with the mystery of the eternity of life, and with the awareness and a glimpse of the marvelous structure of the universe, together with the devoted striving to comprehend a portion, be it ever so tiny. My religiosity consists of a humble admiration of the infinitely superior spirit that reveals itself in the little that we, with our weak and transitory understanding, can comprehend of reality." And here we have Tagore echoing the same sentiments. "Let the mind stand still amidst the infinite universe. The sea and the sky, the mountains and the springs, the sun and the moon, sing to your glory. The poet's heart marvels with joy." In 1930, Tagore and Einstein again met 4 more times in Berlin and in New York. On July 14th, Tagore visited Einstein at his residence in Debu, Germany. "Dear Mr. Tagore," Einstein wrote, "it was very kind of you to plan to visit us. We would be extremely pleased to be able to receive you at our little country house at Caputh, near Potsdam, on Monday afternoon. The house is situated at the end of the village nearest to Potsdam, high up at the edge of the wood. Looking forward very much to seeing you soon. I am, with cordial regards, yours, Einstein." At the two's later meeting in New York in 1930, Dmitry Maryanov, who later married Einstein's daughter Margot, was present and recounted of the conversations in the New York Times with the headline, "Einstein and Tagore Plumb the Truth." It was interesting to see them together, Marinoff commented. Tagore, the poet with the head of a thinker, and Einstein, the thinker with the head of a poet. Neither sought to press his opinion, but it seemed to an observer as though two planets were engaged in a chat. Here's an excerpt of their conversations. There are two different conceptions about the nature of the universe, Einstein stated. The world as a unity dependent on humanity, and the world as a reality independent of the human factor. Tagore responded, the world is a human world. The scientific view of it is also that of the scientific man. Therefore, the world apart from us does not exist. It is a relative world, depending for its reality upon our consciousness. Truth, then, or beauty, is not independent of man? Einstein inquired. No, I do not say so, replied Tagore plainly. If there were no human beings anymore, the Apollo Belvedere no longer would be beautiful, pressed Einstein. No, Tagore explained. I agree with this conception of beauty, but not with regard to truth, Einstein remarked. Why not? Truth is realized through men, said Tagore. Einstein declared, I cannot prove my conception is right, but that is my religion. According to chemist and Nobel laureate Ilya Prigogine, the question of the meaning of reality was a central subject of a fascinating dialogue between Einstein and Tagore. Einstein emphasized that the science had to be independent of the existence of any observer. On the contrary, Tagore maintained that even if absolute truth could exist, it would be inaccessible to the human mind. Curiously enough, the present evolution of science is running in the direction stated by the great poet. Einstein once said, this is what the painter, the poet, the speculative philosopher, and the natural scientist do, each in his own fashion. Each makes this cosmos and its construction the pivot of his emotional life in order to find, this way, the peace and security you cannot find in the narrow whirlpool of personal existence. And here we have Tagore reflecting on this existence in the same fashion. The spring of happiness flows through the universe. The day and night is brimming with eternal joy towards the unending sky. Do not sit idle with your selfish desires. Look around you for the infinite and fill your life with love and peace. Einstein and Tagore again met at their common scientist friend Mendel's home in 1930. They conversed extensively on reality and causality. Two of these conversations appeared in the appendix of Tagore's book, The Religion of Man, and are still considered significant today in the history of physics and science. Another Nobel laureate and physicist, Beer Josephson, once remarked, Tagore is, I think, saying, truth is a subtler concept than what Einstein realizes. Indeed, this is reminiscent of Einstein's conversation with the famous physicist Werner Heisenberg. He remarked, he ought to be concerned solely with what nature does. Niels Bohr and Heisenberg had a different opinion. To quote Bohr, it is wrong to think that the task of physics is to find out how nature is. Physics concerns what we can say about nature. At some point, the conversation between Tagore and Einstein gradually drifted towards music, and they seemed to connect most effectively. Tagore said, melody and harmony are like lines and colors in pictures. A simple linear picture may be beautiful. The introduction of color may make it vague and insignificant, yet color may, by the combination with lines, create great pictures, so as long as it does not smother or destroy the value. To this, Einstein replied, it is a beautiful comparison. The line is also much older than the color. Tagore remarked, somehow piano confounds me, yet violin pleases me so much more. And interestingly enough, Einstein's passion for music is well known. He was an accomplished violinist himself, and Mozart was his most favorite composer. Many times he would play Mozart on his violin while working on a difficult problem. Einstein said in reply, the really good music, whether of the East or of the West, cannot be analyzed. Tagore replied, yes, and what deeply affects the hearer is beyond himself. Einstein would later write, everyone who is seriously involved in the pursuit of science becomes convinced that a spirit is manifest in the laws of the universe, a spirit vastly superior to that of man, and one in the face of which we, with our honest powers, must feel humble. I believe in a God who reveals himself in the orderly harmony of what exists in the universe. And here Tagore echoes the same belief and praise of the superior spirit. Hail to you, the master of the universe, the Lord of the world, the charioteer of the infinite, the planets, the sun, and the moon are singing to your glory. Tagore, in his reflections about Einstein, remarked, Einstein has often been called a lonely man, and insofar as the realm of mathematical vision helps to liberate the mind from the crowded trivialities of daily life, I suppose he is a lonely man. His is what might be called transcendental materialism, which reaches the frontiers of metaphysics, where there can be utter detachment from the entangling world of self. To me, both science and art are expressions of our spiritual nature, above our biological necessities, and possessed of an ultimate value. In Einstein's own words, the true value of a human being is determined by the measure and the sense in which he attains liberation from the self. This individual feels the futility of human desires and the sublimity of the marvelous order which reveals themselves in nature and thought. Individual existence impresses him as a sort of prison, and he seeks liberation from that and wants to experience the universe as a single significant whole. And here Tagore reflects on the same desire for liberation. Untangle yourself from the smaller self. You can hear the whole world beckoning you. The wave of joy that raptures your soul, makes your heart dance, shakes you inside out. Let your soul rest quietly, drenched by the dawning sky. Spread your wings across the infinite. The whole world resonates with you.
Bye.
In the year 1931, the whole world acknowledged Tagore on his 70th birthday by bringing out a special volume called The Golden Book of Tagore. The 5 patrons of this memorable volume were Memoerial, Albert Einstein, George Palmas, Jagdish Chandra Bose, and Mahatma Gandhi. Einstein wrote in his book, "He has been for us the living symbol of the spirit of light and of harmony, the great free bird which soars in the midst of tempests, the song of eternity which Ariel strikes on his golden harp, rising above the sea of unloosened passions. He is the great sentinel. For all that we are and we have created have had their roots and their branches in that great Ganges of poetry and love." Here is Tagore invoking that same passion and spirit. Rupturing the sky, absorbing the past and the future. The vast wave of joy rocks the sun, the moon, and the stars. The human mind trembles with joy. The heart sings like a bird. Einstein said that he believed the future of religion will be a cosmic religion, covering both the natural It should be based on a religious sense arising from the experience of all things natural and spiritual as a meaningful identity. A scientist's religion takes the form of rapturous amazement at the harmony of natural law, which reveals an intelligence of such superiority that compared with it, all the systematic thinking and acting of human beings is an utterly insignificant reflection. Here Tagore joyfully reflects on the same question. My heart leaps with wonder at the star-studded sky and the earth full of life. The universe sways eternally, sending ripples in my blood. I have treaded across the earth, trembled with joy at the scent of the flower. In the midst of all happiness, my heart leaps with wonder. I hear and see the unknown among the known with a lingering awe.
Amen.
appears to me to be the one who has, to the best of his ability, liberated himself from the fetters of his selfish desires, and is preoccupied with thoughts, feelings, and aspirations to which he clings for his impersonal value. It seems to me that what is important is the force of the super-personal content and the depth of the conviction concerning its overpowering meaningfulness. Likewise, Tagore's echoes Einstein and their yearning for liberation. Free yourself from the barrier you created all around you. Open the door to your heart, the abode of happiness. You wander restless from door to door, from the earth to the sky. The air fills with your sadness. Open the door to your heart, the abode of happiness. Lift the veil of darkness. Forget yourself. Your life will fill up with infinite joy. Lay your flute down. Wait for him to come and play it for you. Stop begging and let your life be filled with bliss. Open the door to your heart, the abode of happiness. simplicity of a child when they looked at the amazing spectacle that our cosmos is. And they continue to be in awe throughout their life, each in his own way. In the words of Einstein, one cannot help but be in awe when one contemplates the mysteries of eternity, of life, and of the marvelous structure of reality. While contemplating this, Tagore offers us the same sense of awe and adoration. You are the absolute truth and beauty in this world full of joy and grace. The infinite sky basks in your glory. The universe adorns your feet. The sun and the moon, the planets and the stars bathe in your light. The flowers and the leaves, the music and the fragrance flows like a stream gently over the earth. Life flows through day and night in an ever-changing way. Drenched in your kindness through birth and death, love and kindness, affection and respect softens our heart. Filled with your compassion during time of sorrow, the universe praises the celebration on the earth. All unified with you in happiness and bliss. You are the absolute truth and beauty in this world full of joy and grace.
actually Debu will be very happy to answer any questions about his instrument and any other questions we may want to ask.
Can each of you, like Suzanne, Sudeshna, and Debu, were playing different instruments, if you could speak a little bit to what are the names of those instruments and what?
Oh, sure. So my instrument, this is called harmonium. Curiously enough, this is a French instrument. I don't know how it made way to India, and it became one of the main instruments for accompaniment. Because Indian music is, it has lots of microtones, and keyboard is not the most, suitable instrument for Indian music. But somehow it made its way into the mainstream, and not only India, but the whole Indian subcontinent. I mean, Pakistan and Bangladesh, everywhere people use harmonium. But Ethan was saying it's called the Mandira, so it's like a small bell which accompanies the main, the rhythm instrument, which is Tabla, and Debu can tell you a little bit about that.
Oh, sure. There's a lot to say about Tabla. This hand drum is practically capturing the drum world these days. It's also known as the talking drum. The reason why it's called the talking drum is because each syllable has a name, and we have a grammar based on what we do. For example, what I was doing, I was actually playing different beats, and then there are micro beats as well that I get into, and it's highly mathematical. So I started with 10 beats, and then went into 12 beats, went into 7 beats, went into 14, and so on. But without getting into the details of it, but the way we weave the syllables into the music and apply the syllables to the music is by changing the pitch of the left-hand drum. And you saw how I pressed the drum to make certain sound, and you can create do re mi fa sol la ti using the left-hand drum by pressing your palm, right? So I can go into the details of this, but just to give you a layman's idea, in the right hand, which is the sharper drum, this sound goes into the pitch of the singer that I'm accompanying, or any other instrumentalist. This is in A, this is in G sharp, and the bass sort of complements the right hand drum. So in this hand I have 5 sounds, and those sounds are basically the sounds that when we learn this drum, we have to learn the very core of it. For example, if the sound is not clear, your learning is not complete. So for example, this sound is called the na sound, and then the middle part is called the tin sound. So there's a difference between this sound and this sound. Then there is a conch shell sound, this sound. Then there is a sound of the choo-choo train. That's the 4th sound. And then there is a sound of in the Tabla world, people, when they like to show off, they play that sound, and that sound is this sound. So in combination of that, just in one hand, we have a variety of sounds that we play, and those 5 sounds composed of different rhythms. For example, this is a rhythm of 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Or we can use another sound. Or you can use another pattern. And then there is a sound of the rhythm of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is how we develop different beats and then get into different patterns. So a good tabla player would right on the spot can produce at least 100 patterns. If you can produce 100 patterns right on the spot using different instruments or different sound, and that means you have learned really well. So that's the minimum standard. Then there are what we call the pundits. The pundits will have about 1,000 compositions or patterns in their head, and they can just throw it off at any minute and just to dazzle the audience. Okay, so that's the right hand, and the left hand has only two sounds. That's the bass sound, and you can modulate that sound. So we can, my teacher used to sing Do a Deer, a Female Deer, that song from Sound of Music. He could do that on the left hand. So and so on. So just to give you an idea, this left hand drum has a lot to express using by pressing the palm on the left hand bass drum. Any other questions? That's the basic, to give you a basic idea. That's what it is. Yeah.
Is there a notation system for
Yes.
this kind of music, also with the microtones? So you can notate this music, it's
Yes.
not just memorized?
At a very basic level, it can be, one can notate it, but not at the very, all the microtones cannot be really notated. Because they're so delicate that it's very difficult to notate, because it's not even sometimes that it passes from the teacher to the student like that. So it's basically by hearing.
So are you using Western music notation when you notate it, or do you have your own notation system?
We do have an Indian music notation system which we use, but as I said, that it only can do a very basic structure. All the small intricacies cannot, the notation cannot capture it. Yeah.
And the same goes for tabla. We have a notation. For example, if we chant it out in our when we learn, every syllable has a name, has a sound. So if I say, sort of like a conversation when the two tabla players are talking to each other, and let's say we're sitting at a train or something, and we don't have the instrument in front of us, and we are talking to each other. We are talking in notations. Like if it is a 4-beat or a 16-beat or an 8-beat cycle, we are keeping the rhythm by clapping our hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2. So if I am not clapping, and if I'm saying the same thing in my mouth, I say da din din da da din din da da din din da da din din da. And now play. So we establish the bass, and then once we establish the bass, we can then weave the different patterns. For example, this is the bass. And then somebody is keeping that in their hand, and we are doing it's all in the head. But the basic beat structure is laid out already, and you cannot go outside that. So one of the pundits of this system said a long time ago that Indian classical music is like once you set the parameter, you can do just about anything within that parameter. You have all the freedom to do anything you want within that parameter. So whether it's 16 beats, 18 beats, 21 beats, and so on. So anything can happen.
Okay, thank you everyone again.